I have a retirement visa, but I plan to work part-time. Will this affect my residency status? No, not at all. So the retirement visa basically means that you have, it falls under the immigration law, and that means that you have the right to be a resident in the UAE and live in the UAE. The possession of that kind of visa does not necessarily grant you by default the right to work or prohibit you from working. But the working relationship or the employment relationship is subject to a different law, not the immigration law, which governs the residence visa, but the employment law. Or companies law, depending on how you plan to work. So the employment relationship in the UAE also and subject to certain requirements, i.e. it has to be kind of formalized. So for example, if you work for a company on your retirement visa, that particular employment agreement should be registered with the relevant authority where the company is based. So then in that case, your employment relationship is formally registered, and then you have what's called like a labor card or a work card that shows that you're working legally. So that's one type of arrangement, employment arrangement that is legal and not inconsistent with your retirement visa, because you could be also working part-time. And by the way, these kinds of arrangements happen and exist in many different shapes and forms. So even if you're working part-time, there is a way to register your employment relationship, and it also only benefits you and the company, by the way. So that's one way. The other way, let's say if you're just doing freelance and then you're working from the comfort of your own home, then you may want to get, in addition, like a freelance license, not a visa, but a freelance license that will allow you also, in the event, even for banking purposes, it will allow you to justify to the bank why every month you're receiving payments from such and such company. So that's an event. It's also a form of working, but you're working as a freelancer. And then the third type of working arrangement is that, for example, if you have your own business and you are doing some kind of transactions, and then so in that case, you would have to, once again, you'd have to have your own company or be a shareholder in somebody else's company. And in that case, you will still have a formal relationship on the basis of which you can provide services. So it can be done by virtue of either service agreement or an employment agreement. So that would be kind of you working as a shareholder or as a business owner. So there's different arrangements, but whatever it is you do, depending on the type of work you're planning on doing, you should keep this in mind and make sure that you sort of formalize it depending on your circumstances, so that you don't necessarily face issues, for example, with immigration authorities. If you constantly going to somebody's office and working at somebody's office and you don't have the labor card or the card to show that you can be on those premises, you have the legal right to be on those premises, and that is only available if your contract is registered with the relevant authority, or if or challenges from the bank, if you receive payments on a regular basis and you don't have anything to justify your personal account. And so this comes from experience, because these are sort of the issues that we hear from our clients, and that's why whatever it is you do, keep this in mind and arrange your documentation accordingly.